Now available as paperback and e-reader from the author of Spinsterella, A Strange and Unusual Romance, and Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black comes from legendary magazine. And you get the conclusion of the Spinsterella trilogy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Last week, as San Diego Comic-Con was going on, I got a chance to take a look at the trailer for TNT's new Titan series. And after watching this trailer for TNT's new Titan series, I had to shake my head. Because when it comes down to this trailer for the new Titans series, it is absolutely nothing like the classic Marv Wolfman and George Perez comics it is based on. When it comes down to Titans, it continues to follow the same dark, dreary, depressing model for storytelling that Warner Brothers has been pushing in many of its superhero adaptations since 1989's Batman. And that story model just does not work for Titans, because anyone who has read the new Teen Titans knows that the new Teen Titans is not a dark series. No, the new Teen Titans is a bright series. It is a bit more of a hopeful series, because the new Teen Titans is all about these superhero sidekicks like Robin, Kid Flash, the Changeling, and newer teen heroes like Starfire, Raven, and Cyborg coming together to fight crime as a new team of superheroes. Because that's what the new Teen Titans was, because it came out of the old Teen Titans, which was, again, a group of sidekicks who were taking on different bad guys in the DC universe when they weren't working with their mentors. But the new Teen Titans took things to another level, because it was about these sidekicks who starting to grow up and become their own people. And that's what one of the things I did not see in that trailer really being presented to me in any way, shape, or form. I just saw a lot of anger, a lot of angst, and that's not really what the new Teen Titans was all about. Yes, they did have moments of angst, and they did have all sorts of issues, but when it came down to the new Teen Titans, they were primarily best friends, and the theme of friendship was one of the core themes as related to the new Teen Titans. You had Cyborg and Beast Boy. Their relationship was one of the more important ones in the new Teen Titans. And then you had the friendships between Starfire and Wonder Girl, and then the friendship between Dick Grayson and Wonder Girl. But everybody in the new Teen Titans, it was like a family in some way, shape, or form. And I didn't see any of that type of bonding in this Titans trailer, because that was something I saw in the 2000s cartoon really being pushed heavily, and I was happy to see that being pushed in the cartoon heavily, because that really showed that they really cared about the spirit of what the Teen Titans were all about, because the Teen Titans were really close friends, and I really wanted to see that in this adaptation, because the Titans are not like the Justice League. The Justice League are like a team of heroes who work together, but the Titans are a family. They are literally like brothers and sisters in some way, shape, or form. It's the way they come together is completely different than that of the Justice League. So I didn't really get to see that in this trailer in any way, shape, or form. All I saw was a lot of angry characters, a lot of dark characters, and that's, again, not what the Titans are all about. The Titans, they are a team that work together, and they all live to work together towards trying to deal with more of their personal lives than really focusing so much on taking on bad guys. Usually they take on bad guys in between the things that are going on in their personal lives. It's a little bit more of a balanced series as related to other superhero series. It's more about their personal and social interactions than it is about them taking on some big threat. And I didn't really get to see that in this trailer. And I really did not like the way they depicted several of the characters, because many of the ways that they were depicted, several of the characters really contradicted a lot of the missions of those characters. Because I looked at the way they presented Robin, and yes, the actor looks just like George Perez's interpretation of Dick Grayson, but the way they have him portrayed really betrays everything as related to the Robin character of that time. Because the Robin character of that time, he was looking to become his own man. He was applying his own approaches to fighting crime. He was doing things like working with District Attorney Adrian Chase in New York City. And he was looking to branch out and learn how to be a different type of detective and learn a different approach to crime fighting than Batman. So I really didn't get to see that when he was fighting them. All I heard him say was F Batman, but that's not the Robin of the Perez era. No, the Robin of the Perez era, yes, he had his issues as related to anger, and he had his teenage angst, but he also had discipline, and he had respect for the legacy of Batman, and he had respect for the law. And when I saw him brutalizing people, that's not how Robin operates, and that's not how Nightwing operates. Because when it comes down to Robin, Dick Grayson respects Batman, and he respects Batman's approaches, and he comes up with his own approaches, and his approaches are a bit more law-abiding than Batman's, and he tends to try to work with people more than Batman, because that's a core part of Dick Grayson's transition from Robin to Nightwing, is that he's more people-oriented, and he's more about bringing people together. He's more of a diplomat, and he is a bridge between all the characters. He's the leader who manages to get all these people to work together as friends, and he gets them to see each other as people, not just as people in costumes. Again, that's what's very different between the Titans and the Justice League, is that the Titans are very much like best friends, and they're very much like a family in a way, shape, or form. So Dick Grayson, he is like the patriarch of the Titans. He's like the leader of the Titans. He is the leader of the Titans, and he brings people together in a different way than a Superman would as the head of the Justice League. When it comes down to Dick Grayson, he's more of a people person. He's more of a friend to people, and he manages to get people to see the bigger picture from a social perspective. And that's not going to happen with a Dick Grayson who says F Batman. That's an angry guy who really isn't about building bridges, and Dick Grayson was always about building bridges and forming relationships with people. Now, when it comes down to Starfire, I didn't have a problem with the black actress playing Starfire, but I have a problem with the way they present her in this adaptation. Now, in this adaptation, they've given her this ridiculous wig, and her powers really are not the same as Coriander in the old New Teen Titans series. They just have her burning people, and again, that's not how Cori operates. When it comes down to Cori, she is a friend to people, she's very loving, she's very caring, and she's really the heart of the Teen Titans. And in the old 2000 series, we saw her being the heart of the Teen Titans, being the one who really brings everybody together with her love. And that's something we really didn't get to see in this Titans trailer. Now, the other character I had an issue with was the Raven portrayal. Now, the Raven has always been a distant character due to her being the daughter of Trigon, and she's always had issues with that because she's like the daughter of a demon in some way, shape, or form. And the way they portrayed her was she was just so edgy and extreme, and it wasn't the Raven I read in the comics. Because again, the Raven in the comics, while she had her issues, she was still trying to hold on to parts of her humanity. Now, Hawk and Dove, these is another two characters I have issues with, because we have Dove slicing a guy's leg, and that's not what Dove is all about in the comics. Dove is a bit more of a peaceful character and is more about using diplomatic approaches to problem solving, while Hawk is usually the more aggressive character in old school Teen Titans books. But in this series, they have Dove being extra aggressive, and that's not what the Dove character is all about. But what was really missing from this Teen Titans series is Kid Flash, who desperately needs to be there because Wally West was the awkward kid in the Titans because he came from a family, but he had a hard time working in this family because it's a different environment. And they desperately needed Cyborg in this adaptation because Victor Stone is a core part of the Teen Titans. I mean, you cannot have the friendship with the Beast Boy or the Changeling and Cyborg. Those two guys are best friends in the comics, and that relationship is something that is desperately needed if you're going to do a Titan series. You cannot have a Titan series without Cyborg and Beast Boy being friends because that's a core part of the series. Just like you need Wonder Girl in a Titan series because Wonder Girl and Starfire are best friends, and when it comes down to Wonder Girl, she is like the mother of the Teen Titans. She brings the love to the family, and she brings the guidance to the family. So you desperately need Donna Troy in a Teen Titans series for it to really work. And that's one of the things I had an issue with this Titans trailer and the adaptation of Titans. They really picked a lot of wrong characters. I would rather have Cyborg instead of Hawk, and I'd rather have Wonder Girl instead of Dove, and I would rather have Kid Flash in a recurring role because all those characters are paramount to building a strong Titan series. And there's another character that they desperately need, but he's on Arrow right now, and that is Deathstroke, the Terminator. You can't have new Teen Titans without Slade. Slade is a core, essential character to a Titan series, and the sad part is you've got Slade on Arrow, but Slade needs to be in this series because Slade's relationship with the Titans is one of the core storylines of a new Teen Titans series. But as they have presented these characters, I don't see a lot of the dynamics of the classic new Teen Titans being presented in this dark, dreary trailer. I mean, I don't see how they're going to lay the foundation for Dick's relationship with Coriander, which is one of the major storylines in New Teen Titans. Dick and Starfire, that's a major story, but I don't see how they're going to do that with an F Batman Robin and this Starfire who really looks like she's really out of place. And the way they presented her in that hooker costume really does not really show us who these two characters are and really does not capture the spirit of their relationship. So I look at this series and it looks like an incomplete adaptation, and it looks like an adaptation that really misses the mark in terms of capturing the heart of the story, the letter of the story, and the spirit of the story of the new Teen Titans. When I look at this trailer, I see somebody who is trying to be too hard to be edgy, and in their attempts to be edgy, it just is overdone. Everything is over dark, over dreary, and over depressing, but the Titans have never been about dark and depressing. The Titans have always been a hopeful group of heroes, an optimistic group of heroes, and a group of heroes who, again, focus primarily on friendship and coming together in times of crisis and working together towards solving problems, and it being more about the social relationships between the characters. And when I look at this adaptation, there's none of the things that are true to the heart of the new Teen Titans, like Robin being the leader who brings people together, or Starfire talking about love and friendship, or Beast Boy having that friendship with Cyborg, or Raven learning how to connect with people instead of being so distant. Now, the 2000s cartoon, while it was completely different from the comic book, still stayed true to the spirit of Marv Wolfman and George Perez's stories, stayed true to the heart of Marv Wolfman and George Perez's stories, and made every effort to really give us something that was similar to those old school New Teen Titans comics. This series, as I see it, is trying to give us something different, and it literally looks like to me they really have not done a good job of researching the history of the New Teen Titans. They haven't done a good job of really taking a look at many of these old Teen Titans comics, and they really have not really done a good job of studying what these characters are about, what the mission of the New Teen Titans was, or why people should care about these characters. And that's something that I feel is going to derail this series in some way, shape, or form, because I don't see the Titans that I grew up with in the comics, and I don't see their story being presented in this series. When I heard Robin say F Batman, I just, again, shook my head at that, because that's not the Robin of that era. The Robin of that era, yes, he had his anger and he had his angst, but again, he was a leader who had respect for others, and he wanted to make efforts to bring people together. And he was a bit more social about things, and I didn't see that in this version of Robin, and I don't see any of the characters from that era in this adaptation, and that's why I'm deeply disappointed with this series calling itself Titans, because I don't see anything as related to the new Teen Titans on the screen of that trailer. If you'd like to try some of my SJS Direct publications like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, The Temptation of John Haynes, the Spinsterella trilogy, or my men's issues books like the Simp series, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.